NSTP, yeah, good. Super. Non-terminal start symbol, terminal production. Swati, Nandini, okay, thank you. So now you are seeing a screen. A grammar G is defined with A, right? Capital A. Usually non-terminal is given, but for understanding purpose, it was given as capital A. Most of the time, it will be defined as capital A, and terminals will be defined with small cases, right? The upper cases will be for A and lower cases for terminals. And then P indicates productions, right? And start symbol. Here only one terminal is there. That is also in a start symbol. So we have a grammar which have only one non-terminal, that is A, and it has some terminals A, B, C, and it has a production rule defined as A tends to small a, capital A, and another production is also, there are two productions in the grammar. So A tends to ABC, only along with terminal one production, along with terminal and non-terminal one production. So A replaces, this arrow is means for rewritten as or replaces, right? Rewritten as A and capital A. And this A production, second production is capital A rewritten as A, B, C as an terminal symbols. All are terminal symbols. Is that clear? The definition of a grammar is clear. Please type it in your chat box. Please type it in your chat box. Is that clear? What is non-terminal? The given example, the non-terminal is capital A. Terminals are small a, small b, small c, and start symbol is capital A. Productions rules, it has two productions rules. A tends to small a, capital A. A tends to small a, small b, small c. Is that clear? Please type it in your chat box. If you understand the grammar only, you can proceed with the guide 3AE. Thank you. Any other? Is that clear? Is that clear? Yeah. So here, how I had derived the things, right? And students, please remember, this is an important point I want to give you. Whenever you are starting deriving symbols, or you are going to find the language generator from a grammar, you have to start with a minimum length of a string, right? You have to start with a minimum length of a string, so that only you can understand what pattern it is, right? How the language is defined. So you can easily understand. So the minimum length is, I can say the only one rule, applying one rule, I can generate in a string, that is rule 2A. I had given in a different color, right? See here, this production A tends to ABC. It means that I generated the string ABC. The arrow has to be derived. It has to be, sorry, copy pasted wrongly. So it derives ABC. The first string is from using that grammar I had derived as ABC, right? That was the first string. And second string, see here how I am going for. I am going to first start with a start symbol A. This is also in a start symbol. This is also in a start symbol. Same A, right? And I can replace either AA or ABC. Anything I can replace it. It is my option. Like your thing, right? We had already seen the examples how to derive it. So I had replaced this A with A and A. First rule, using a production rule, first rule, so that I had given us a color. Usually here R1 has to be there. Above R, you have to write rule 1. You have derived that A, right? Like that you have to write. So this A again replaced with, I can have two options. What are the options? AA and ABC. Like that I can replace with that. So how I am going to write it? See here, this A will be like that. And for this A, I am replacing with AABC. So next string is generated. So this is a first string generated by this grammar with the length of 3 and 4, 5, so on it will go. So minimum length of the string produced by this grammar is 3, right? After that it will go on increasing AA. And you may think, right? See here, say third, how I am going for A replace. And for this A, again I am using a production rule 1 and then replacing AA, right? And for this A, I am terminating with using production rule 2 and terminating, that is ABC. So I have produced the next length. Why I am going for a pattern? I can understand the pattern easily if I am going for lengthwise. That's what I am going by an order. Any order you can derive. If you want to derive this string first, you can derive it, nothing wrong. But understanding the pattern, you have to go from an increasing length of an strings, so that you can understand the pattern. See here, what are the strings we had generated? ABC, AABC, AAABC, and AAA. So the any number of A is present in the string and it is ending with BC. Like that I can still. Or else you can see that the string ending with ABC prefix with any number of A's including 0. That's what I had written here. See, A power n, ABC, and n is greater than or equal to 0. It may be 0, then you will get only ABC. If it is 1, you will get the second string. If it is 2, you will get the third string. 4, like that, it will generate a string. Like that. In the language, and I had analyzed the pattern also. Is that clear? Is that clear? Type it in the chat box, students. So if you understand that, only you can go for a type of grammars, because most of the people will have doubts in it. Okay, Devi, super. Is it easy, right? Are you able to derive the strings? Right? Okay. So shall we go for the next example? Shall we go for the next example? Can you please write what will be the fifth string? What will be a fifth string? Right? Already you have 1, 2, 3, 4. What will be a fifth string? Can you please type fifth string from the language? 5 is okay. Yeah. Okay. BC. Someone had written that 5 A's after that ABC. Kindly please ensure that it will containing then 6 A's, right? So, who's that? Sanjay Charan. Please verify your string, right? So, including, if it is ending with ABC, then prefix with only 4 A's will be there, right? So that you have to be very clear with that. Right? Okay, thank you, Vishnu and Kausik, Nandini. Okay, too good. We'll go for a next example so that you can understand even better. So you see here, next grammar I had defined as, right? In that, what is non-terminal? You are seeing some slide, right? A grammar is defined with 4 tuples: NT, non-terminal, terminal, production, and start symbol. In the example, what is non-terminal? Type it in your chat box. What is non-terminal? What is non-terminal? Yes, very good. Without flower devices also you can type it. What is terminal? Oh, next Kirtana B, advanced. Whether you had given for non-terminal or terminal. Kirtana B, it is terminal, right? 0, 1 is terminal and S is a non-terminal. Please understand, you have to be clear. Capital letters are used to represent non-terminal. Small cases and zeros and ones, any letters, right? Any symbols will be represent terminals, even plus operators, everything. Identifier, no, whatever you are going to have as an identifier, that notations or symbols used as an terminals, right? And start symbol, only one non-terminal is there, so that is going to be an start symbol, right? Yes. And productions rule. See here, please guys, please listen. Yes, right. The first production rule is S rewritten as 0 S1. Again, it will have a SN. You can keep on substituting this production for S, right? Recursively, you can substitute that one. And second production is terminal production. So you have to remember the thing. Always a grammar will have an terminal production rule. It means that somewhere it has to stop it without that left hand side. Without non-terminals, one production rule should be there. Then only it is able to generate strings, right? If I'm keeping going this one 0 S1 and for this again S again 0 S1 again 0 S1, it will keep going. When it will stop? I have an stopping production rule or a terminal only containing terminal, right? That type of production rule is there. Then only it will generate strings, right? So the first one, right, within a minimum length of a string for this is minimum length string is 0, 1. So first using production rule, I am only generating the minimum length string, right? 2 minimum length of a string generator for this grammar is 2. That is 0, 1. That I had placed here. So language generated by the grammar is 0, 1 first. And second, I am using in a production rule 1. I am deriving in a string S tends to 0 S1, and this S, right, I am using in a second rule I am going to replace 0 1. So that what you are going to get the next string. Next string belongs to this language we are generated, right? 0011. And similarly, I am going for a third length string, right? It means that the 0 power 3, 1 power 3 I am going to generate. How I am going to generate? See here, the first rule, using in a first rule, I had generated 0 S1. For this is again rule 1, right? The color, it says that which rule I had used it. So again I will get 0 for this S. This S again 0 S1, and this one will be as it is. So now for this S, right, I can go for a production 1 on production 2. I want to know the pattern of a language generated by this grammar, so that I am giving, right, 0 1. So first only 1 0, only 1 1, 2 zeros, 2 ones, 3 zeros, 3 ones. Now I am clearly understanding the pattern. See here, fourth one. So three times. The first time I am playing production rule 1. Second time again production rule 1. Third time I am playing production, and fourth time I am playing rule 2. So that I get 4 zeros and 4 ones. So and strings I had written here, LG containing 0 power 1, 1 power 1, like that you can take or any order you can write it. So the pattern of the language will be easily identified. 0 power n and 1 power n, where n is greater than or equal to 1. And whereas previous case it is greater than or equal to 0 I had written, because I didn't consider ABC, right? See here, I had written this A separately. If I am putting here, it means that I can write it ABC, A power n, BC written, I can write here 1, minimum, n is greater than 1. Like that, you can write it in your own convenient way to identify this language pattern. Is that clear? Is that clear? So second example. Is that clear? Yes, ma'am. Okay, now you clearly understand how we are going for generating language from a given, how production rules are important to that, right? So based on that, right? Based on that, we have a classification. You know what is grammar? Grammar is defined as non-terminal, terminal, production rules, and start symbol. On basis of type of production rules, you have type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3, right? And basis, these are the things we started with in the last class itself, right? But you people are not seeing the exam, so you get little confusion. So I want to make it clear by deriving a strings and generating in a language, and how production rules are important to generate a strings from a grammar to make a language, right? These are the things now we are seeing. So these are remaining things we will see it. And basis of derivation tree, you will have ambiguous grammar and unambiguous grammar. This also I had given it once, right? Leftmost derivation, rightmost derivation. Next class we will see those things, right? And remaining we will see it later. So type of formal grammar on basis of production rules. So you know that what is the production rules? Alpha tends to beta, right? And alpha, right? Alpha rewritten as beta. That is going to be a production rule in your grammar. Based on that, I am going to classify 4 types: type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3. And type 0 is unrestricted grammar called as, and type 1 is context sensitive, type 2 is context free and regular. I already told in the last class, right? This is going to minimum you'll get 5 marks in your competitive exams wherever you go. If you know TOC, if you are telling that, also people will be get an excitement in asking questions. Usually you'll get it, one question will be from GATE or any competitive exam, you'll get it from type of grammars, right? So last class, I used, I think, Karthikeyan or some other person had asked the doubt, right? Ma'am, please give me an example for alpha tends to. So I had added examples for these all 4 types, right? And when I am telling grammar, it generates a language, right? For language, you had already seen that the language will be recognized or accepted by an automata. So type 0 is an unrestricted grammar. The language generated by this grammar will be accepted by Turing machines. Is it clear? Language defined by type 0 grammars are accepted by Turing machines. So grammar, and what is the rule? What is the language generated by the grammar? What is an automata? These things you have to be very clear. So this is a type 0, and the language generated by this recursive languages, right? That is accepted by Turing machine. And I have another name for an unrestricted grammar, that is length increasing grammar, because always your right hand side it will be increasing, right? Alpha tends to beta, beta length is always greater than alpha, so that it is called as length increasing grammar. And next we are going for past textual grammar, right? Why it is, we'll see it, right? That is what I can see in example, you can understand. And one more thing, right? In alpha side, there is no restriction. Alpha side, you can have any number of terminals and non-terminals, but one non-terminals must be is in a total alphabet. B star is in a total alphabet. It means that combinations of non-terminal and terminals. So one non-terminal prefix and suffix with any combinations of terminals and non-terminals. It means that at least one non-terminal should be present in alpha side, right? That was given. See here, S tends to ACA, but it is not on a complete grammar productions, right? For examples I had taken, it is not on a complete set of productions. Please understand that if you are deriving, you cannot get strings here. So for understanding, I had given S tends to ACA and AB, right? This is going to be beta, this is an alpha. And like that, this is alpha. See here, it is in a combinations of terminals and non-terminal. Small cases in a terminal and upper cases in a non-terminal. So it replaces ACB. Like that, I can see the example. Any combinations, right? It only containing, this is the non-terminal followed by terminal. This is only non-terminals present, CB alpha side, and this is terminal followed by non-terminal. So any combination you can have terminal and non-terminal, terminal, like that you can, because V star, but you require this side at least, left hand side at least one non-terminal with the combinations of, with the combination or without, zero or null string, right? You can have terminals and non-terminals that will replace or rewritten with some strings, which is also be in a combinations of terminals and non-terminals. It is not the only terminal or non-terminal. You may have beta is also V star, total alphabet, right? And alpha should not be epsilon. These are the conditions, right? Productions rule condition. I am making a restrictions on my productions rules to classify its type. So what is going to be alpha tends to beta for type 0 grammar? It is in length is increased, and alpha side you can have in any combinations of terminals and non-terminals, but only one non-terminal must, and beta side total alphabet, terminals and non-terminals, right? There is no restriction on it. But length has to be increasing order. Is that clear? Is that clear? Type 0 grammar. Is that clear? Students, type it in the chat box so that I can proceed with Kaushika. Thank you. So type 0, right? What is the name of type 0 grammar? What is the name of a type 0 grammar? Unrestricted grammar. And another two names also I had given, right? So what is the machine accepted, right? A machine will accept the language generated by unrestricted grammar, that is Turing machine, right? So these are things you have to remember. An alpha side, one non-terminal must, and it should not be epsilon. This is a condition for type 0 grammar. And now I am going for type 1. It is in a context sensitive grammar. Why it is context sensitive? See here, it is very easy to understand. See here. You can very well say that A rewritten as beta, right? A rewritten as beta, but in the presence of prefix with alpha and suffix with beta only, you can replace A by B. So with the context, it will be replaced. What context? With alpha and beta. Prefix with alpha and suffix with beta, only A will be replaced with B. Is that clear? That is going to be context sensitive grammar. With the context, right? A has to be present, B has to be present, or small a, small b. With some context, only you will replace A tends to beta. You are getting or not? Sorry, A tends to B. Is that clear? Say yes or no. context sensitive grammar. Is that clear? Is that clear, students? No one is typing. Type it in your chat box. Is it clear? Type. Okay, Anshali, I'm clear. Okay, thank you. So see here, context sensitive grammar. So we are going to, not all the productions will be fall in this category, right? The students, please remember, any one of your productions, right? And maybe, right? See here, I can have only one non-term will also be presented. Not that all the productions will be have in this format, right? So AB will be replaced as ABBC, right? And A will be replaced as BCAA. When we are seeing context sensitive is not part of your curriculum because it is the language accepted by this as linear bounded automata, right? So context sensitive languages generated by context sensitive grammar, and the machine automata machine for context sensitive languages linear bounded. This is for pattern recognition and mainly for languages, right? Which we are spoken languages. It is used, right, for natural languages. See here, syntax of some natural language. So this is not much asked because it is not a curriculum of you. If you are interested in doing your research in TOC, you can proceed with this thing in detail, right? Still, the researchers are going on in that for pattern recognition, natural language processing. It is going on, right? So alpha. So yeah, you have to remember the rules for a context-sensitive grammar. So alpha tends to alpha A B will be rewritten as alpha B A. You can simply write A rewritten as B. It is not the case because within a context only you should replace, right? There isn't a case. And S may be here, start symbol may be epsilon, and most of the case, right, which we had studied earlier, alpha should not be epsilon, right? But here you can have epsilon, right? And A and B, S, right? So let's see here, A and S are non-terminal, and remaining things will be in combinations of non-terminal and terminals, may combine with terminals and non-terminals. And when I'm going to replace A with B should not be epsilon. So here, yes, maybe an epsilon, but the production, right, which you are replacing should not be epsilon. So A rewritten as B in the context of alpha and beta. This you have to understand for context sensitive grammar. So next, these are things we are seeing. Now we are going for a context-free grammar. This is what actually your syllabus starts, right? So context-free grammar will generate context-free languages. The language defined by type 2 grammars are accepted by push-down automata. So your third unit consists of context-free languages, context-free grammar, context-free languages, and push-down automata, right? So natural language is almost entirely defined by this type 2 grammar structures, right? And what is the difference between previous one? There is no restriction on alpha side, right? Right hand side, the left hand side, you don't have a restriction on length, right? Length you don't have a restriction. Here, it is only one non-terminal has to be present in your left hand side, single non-terminal, right? And alpha tends to rewritten as alpha, where alpha doesn't have any restriction on length. You can have any combination of terms and non-terminals. But remember, if any one of your productions have only terminals, then only you can generate strings. That already I had mentioned. So what is context-free grammar? It have left-hand side only one terminal, right? Rewritten as combinations of terminals and non-terminals. That is only one production rule, right? So see here, one left-hand side, all the productions in the left-hand side will have only one non-terminal, right? Replaced with terminal and non-terminal, replaced with only terminal followed by non-terminal, all the combination, even epsilon can be replaced. This is a type 2 and very much important for your syllabus, right? Context-free grammar. Left hand side only one non-terminal, right hand side any combinations of terminals and non-terminals. That's all. And the language generated by this context-free language, machine accepting as push-down automata. Is that clear? Type 2 grammar. Type 2 grammar. Ma'am, what is mean by push down automata? Yeah, you're Swati, you're very advanced, right? Okay. You had studied automata, right? Finite automata. So finite automata will have finite set of strings, right? It will recognize languages, and some of the languages cannot be recognized by finite automata. So we are going for a next level, right? We want to suppose take example a power n, b power n. This cannot be recognized by finite automata. When I am taking push down automata, I will give you clear set. So this type of sum of languages, right? Some particular languages which is not regular. I can say the language is not regular, or maybe some regular languages also not recognized by finite automata, or we will make it in the set, right? Context free languages. So the context free languages cannot recognized by finite automata. Context free languages, right, cannot accept the finite automata. That time I need a different type of automata. That time I am going for position automata. Is that clear, Swati? For this time, this is enough, I think so. Context free languages, Swati. All right. Okay. So next, maybe another couple of classes we are going to start push-down automata. That time I will make it clear. It was a very interesting one, right? So let me see. And next, the last one, type 3 grammar. This is for regular languages, which you already completed. Regular language, finite automata, finite state automata, regular language. The grammar will generate regular languages because it's in a regular grammar, regular language, finite automata, right? And some informal spoken dialogue. It means that computer languages it will be used, right? And rules you see it is anything. Left hand side only one non-terminal, but right hand side also we are imposing. Right hand side also we are imposing rules. So far, right, we don't have any rules for right hand side, right? Except context sensitive, right? B should not be epsilon. That is the only thing we are imposed, right? But here see at right hand side you may either have epsilon or only terminal, or terminal followed by non-terminal. So please remember terminal, alpha is the terminal here, terminal followed by non-terminal. See, you can see the example, you easily understand. Non-terminal left hand side, whatever the cases, you'll have only one non-terminal, that is for sure. And right hand side, either you can have epsilon or single terminal, or terminal followed by non-terminal, right? These are the case, only 3 cases are allowed. Y tends to a terminal again. Whatever the non-terminal is there, that will have in 3 format, either epsilon or single non-terminal, or non-terminal followed by a terminal. No, sorry, terminal followed by a non-terminal. Is that clear? See here, epsilon maybe in a terminal followed by a non-terminal. So this is anything. So you see that from type 0, we are going for more rules, right? Type 0, there is no alpha tends to beta, right? And context sensitive, with the context you replace, that's it. But when you go for type 2 and type 3, left hand side only one non-terminal has to be there. Right hand side there is no rule in type 2. When type 3, that is also a rule. So while it is in a hierarchy, while we are going down, right, you are imposing more rules, right? That's what 4 types of grammars. So this is a more important thing. Already I had informally given the definitions, right? The language L derived from a grammar G, right? So the set of strings, so already I had shown the example from a grammar how we are deriving strings, and these strings put together is called as a language, right? So the language LG generated by a grammar G is formally defined as LG. W is a string belongs to a language where it has all terminals, right? It is only containing terminal. T star, it means that set of terminals, right? It is only W is belongs to terminals, or non-terminal should not generate strings, because it's again replaced with some other thing. When you stop in derivation, it means that it's containing only terminals. So obviously W will contain only terminals, right? And it has to start from an S. Start symbol will derive the string W. These are the 2 conditions. What is the 2 conditions? All the symbols are terminals, right? In word W or a string, and it has to start from S. S derives W. Something you cannot start it and derive a word. Yeah, from S you should derive on a string W. So that is in a two condition, and W is only containing terminal symbols. So this is what a language LG is defined for in a grammar G. A set of all strings that can be derived from a grammar is said to be in a language generated from that grammar. So these are things already we had seen within an example. So this is in a formal definition. May they'll ask in 2 marks, right? This is a thing. They'll ask this format. They'll accept. LG containing the string W, where W is only containing terminal because it's generated by a grammar. What is grammar? Grammar containing non-terminal, terminal, production rule, and start symbol. And terminals and start symbol defines a language. So it's a W is containing only terminals, right? And yeah, the string is generated from start symbol. These are the two conditions for a language. So you have to remember this terminologies. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, Swati only listening. What about other students here? Is that clear? So, what are the grammar types? How many types? Yes, ma'am, on yourself, right? So, we'll have a small recap, right? So, how many types we had seen? How many types? How many types? 4 types. Very good. Very good, right? So quickly, the 4 types of grammar name I am going to ask us. Please recollect it, right? Please recollect it. First, type 1. Type 1. What is type 1? Type 1. No, Nandini. No. Type 1, you are coming first type. No. Yeah, that's why the grammar type will be defined from 0. Please remember, girls, it will start from type 0 grammar, type 1 grammar, type 2. So you should not write it right. The first type we had studied is unrestricted. I can understand, but it is not right. Type 0 is unrestricted. Type 1 is context sensitive, right? Very good. And type 2 is context free grammar, and 4th one is regular grammar. This you have to remember for all, right? Whenever people are asking about TOC, these are 4 things only defining. So associated language, associated machine, you have to remember. So what is the machine, right, or automata for recognizing context-free grammar? Context-free grammar will generate context-free languages. These languages are accepted by push-down automata. Rakesh, very good, very good. Right? For regular grammar, what is automata? For a regular grammar, type 3. Type 3 is in a regular grammar. What is an automata? What is an automata? For a finite state automata, very good. Now you people are very good at, right? So people, please remember, this is a recap for it. Type 0, unrestricted, alpha tends to beta, but this length has to be greater, right? That's only thing. When context sensitive, with the context, right, with the presence of alpha and beta, you will replace A by gamma here. In example, we had seen B, here gamma. It's a symbol, right? Nothing wrong. And context free is an important one. See, they themselves is given as a bolded one, because most of the languages will be covered by context free only. So A tends to gamma, right? What only one non-terminal in your left hand side. That is the only condition. And this side, any number of terminals, non-terminals, epsilon may be present. That is context free. Here context sensitive, with the context only it will replace, but that is free here. But the condition is only one non-terminal has to be in left hand side, right? And next you will have regular grammar. It will have a format. Either it will have a terminal, non-terminal, right? And this is not there, sorry. And terminal alone or epsilon, right? So this format only regular grammar. So already I had mentioned that whenever you are saying that type of grammar, you have to remember the names and language associated with an automata. A quick recap, please students, because it's more important. Throughout the book, this classification is very much needed, right? Because already you had covered finite machine, but without knowing all those things, right? So type 0, unrestricted, right? It is language generated by is recursive enumerable, right? Recursive enumerable. Already I have mentioned that recursive languages. So recursive enumerable language, automata for this one, Turing machine. And I am going to make two definitions here. Please listen. Listen. A grammar generates strings. Students, please listen. So it is called as generative device. A grammar is said to be generative device because it generates strings. And automation is in a device which will recognize or accept strings generated by a grammar. It is recognizing machine or accepting machine. Automation is in a recognizing or accepting a machine, right? What it is accepting? The strings generated by a grammar, right? So both containing, it is generating string, it's accepting the strings put together is called as a language, right? So maybe it is clear. So unrestricted recursive enumerable Turing machine. Already we've seen the context sensitive language and linear bounded automata. The automata recognizing context sensitive language is linear bounded. And similar way, context free grammar type 2 and languages, context free languages, automata is push down automata. And sorry, it is not saying. Type 3 is regular grammar and language is regular language and automata for that finite automata, right? Is that clear? Is that clear? Only one more minute is there. Quickly we'll go through it. So see, this is a question for you. Quickly, see, the last 1 minute is there. Only 1 minute I'll take and I'll close it, right? So please, students, copy down or take in a snapshot, and you have to tell what type of grammar it is, right? And what strings will be generated from this grammar. Fifth instance, right? It means that fifth there length string. Strings that can be generated by grammar, and verify whether the string is AA. This is an homework for you, and surely with that only I'll start the next session. So please note it down the grammar or taken a snapshot, print screen and paste it in any document. After that you can copy it. You can say what type of grammar it is, right? And string generated by the grammar, whether the string is accepted. Like that only you'll get questions in competitive exams, right? So this is a sample for it. So if you understand the grammar types clearly, it is very easy. And if you know deriving strings and languages, then it's only 2 minutes of work. Is that clear? Is that clear? Type 1 grammar again, Swati, very good. Let me go for it. See, right? Type 1 grammar is in a context sensitive context, right? Context is